Moving slowly, we carried her limp body to the surface. After a few moments of holding her neck back to force open her air passage, she took a breath. After one last breath, she swam away, down into dancing sun rays. A touching moment for all of us. Here on the island of Masirah, still in Oman, we find the largest nesting population of loggerhead turtles in the world. Approximately 30,000 loggerheads are estimated to nest at the beginning of the monsoon period in the months of May and June alone, on stretches of coast totaling no more than 25 kilometers. As they come ashore, on some extremely dangerous coastlines, loggerheads soon find that suitable nesting sites are hard to come by. Despite their protected status, these beaches are close to human structures. But even fences can't hold the turtles back from their nesting instincts. Loggerheads lay clutches of up to 100 eggs, and on average the Masirah population collectively lay over 3 million eggs every year. The hawksbill turtle is one of the smallest of all sea turtles. The hawksbill is the only turtle that is classified as a critically endangered species. This is a difficult species to protect because they nest in low numbers spread over a wide range. In Oman, the hawksbill, or in Arabic sharfaf, nest on the Damaniyat Islands. This beautiful group of coral islands forms Oman's first marine nature reserve, created largely due to the presence of this globally important nesting population of hawksbill turtle. Hawksbills are tropical reef inhabitants, feeding on encrusting organisms such as sponges, tunicates, bryozoans, mollusks, and algae.
When they're young, they're very omnivorous. They'll feed on plant material as much as they'll feed on animal material. And as they get older and older, they tend to focus, and we know that they love eating sponges. Now this is an interesting animal. A sponge is made up of lots of little glass spicules. So you could call sea turtles one of the only glass eaters of the world. They feed on this matter. It tends to be very low in nutritional value, but hawksbills have decided that this is their niche in life. And those sponges are normally found on coral reefs. So the protection of coral reefs and its associated sponges is critical for the survival of turtles.
Good morning to you, sir. I have 14 passengers on board. I am proceeding to Karan Island, over.
In search of nesting turtles in the Arabian Gulf. we joined a group of researchers from the National Commission for Wildlife Conservation and Development in Saudi Arabia's Jubail Marine Park. Our destination was Jannah and Karan Islands, perhaps the most important hawksbill and green turtle nesting sites in the Gulf. Every year, the NCWCD researchers are dropped by the Coast Guard on the islands for 4 weeks of monitoring, tagging and weighing.
After the Gulf War, there is most of the marine life they are affected by the oil spill, and because of the behavior of the sea turtles that they come out on the surface and breathing, so maybe it's going to be touched with the oil spill, oil level. So that we are starting to check if the turtle is affected by the oil or not. Starting from 1991 until now, we tagged about 6,000 green turtles and around 600 hawksbill. And you can imagine how this huge database we have about these two species of the marine turtles. Inshallah, and we hope to make a cooperation with the region country to exchange the information, and especially for the migration of the turtles in the Arabian Gulf and Arab Sea.
Each of these turtle populations tends to be genetically distinct. So you've got populations of turtles in Saudi Arabia, for instance, that we know are genetically different from the turtle populations in Oman. Now, what that tells us from a conservation standpoint is if something were to happen to the turtles in Saudi Arabia, wiped out from some natural disaster or whatever it might be, that there isn't a lot of movement of turtles in between these two regions, and we can't expect the turtles from Oman to just start filling in that population. So lose one population and basically it's gone, and that's the way to look at it.
The NCWCD researchers spend every evening monitoring turtle activity. It is thought that up to 5,000 green turtles nest on this island each year.
75.5.
It is only now, through increased use of genetic analysis and increased understanding of migrations through things like satellite tracking and tag returns, that we can start to put these pieces of the big puzzle together. We're looking at turtle populations that move around, but still within that movement retain individuality at different nesting sites. And that is important from a management context, and we need to understand that from a scientific point of view to be able to help management to go forward with that. Where do they go after they've nested? Nobody has the faintest idea. And that's where something like satellite tracking can come into play.
Development and loss of habitat due to man's use of the coastline has considerably changed the nesting patterns on the mainland.
There's a complete dearth of information in this region of the movements of turtles after they've left the nesting beaches. The UAE is not typically well known for its nesting beaches, but there's a strong theory that this entire area here is a post-breeding recovery area and provides strong feeding grounds for both green and hawksbill turtles.
Where do the turtles that are in Emirates waters move to? Do they move to feeding grounds? Do they migrate to nesting grounds? And through satellite tracking we can answer those questions. We can say, okay, look, this turtle left here and over the next 6 months she moved up to whatever other country.
What we're hoping for is that we'll be able to apply this satellite tagging technique to some more turtles before release. Hopefully you should be able to follow this eventually on the internet. The basic costs of a single unit and the satellite time involved is approximately $10,000. Absolutely perfect. There we go. I must say, this particular tag on Marju, the Medinet Jumeirah turtle, is set for a duty cycle starting at 3:30 in the afternoon. One of the most exciting things about the project is we can watch Marju's progression round the Gulf in virtual real time, and that will be available to anybody that cares to log on to the website, we're using seaturtle.org as our primary website, and it will give us about 200 days of information on a turtle's life at large in the Arabian Gulf. To do that is we really want to get out. I've seen turtles out there, and I know you have too.
All we really want to know from this turtle is, where are you moving to? Where are you going? What countries do you want to head to? Or are you staying around, the waters of one or the other of the Emirates? At a conservation standpoint, I look on information like that as being of value, where you go, look, there's no point in us conserving all these turtles here and having them decimated in some other country. But if we know that that's the other country they're going to, we can work with the governments in other countries, we can work with conservationists in other countries. We can at least have a process of dialogue where we can say, look, we know that the turtles that are here are moving up into your waters. Similarly, your turtles might be moving down into our waters. Let's see what we can do to work together.
Off you go, darling.
Put the mattress through.
Put her onto the swim platform. There she goes! There she goes, there she goes.
Okay.
Are you all right, Warren?
يعني كل دولة يعني توجد فيها حياة فطرية لابد أن تحافظ عليها مثلا، لأن هذه الحياة الفطرية بدها تعيش مثلا، ولابد يعني من الدولة أن تحافظ عليها من شأن الحاضر ومن شأن يعني المستقبل، لأنها مفيدة يعني.
As dawn rises over another nesting beach, the governments of Oman, Saudi Arabia, and some other Gulf states take their responsibilities towards thousands of turtles very seriously. But the fact that turtles live their lives in seas without boundaries, swimming and feeding from one country to another, means that what is needed is more concerted efforts between all countries that share the privilege of hosting these amazing reptiles. It is hoped that the region's growing awareness will help turtles like this baby green hatchling to return to this very same nesting beach for generations to come.